Right, hello there guys, welcome back to a new video. Now I'm just going to leave this bit here short and sweet. Basically, in today's video we are sorting out the brakes on the RS4, Graham's RS4 to be precise. The first few clips that you're going to see are from him, and then I jump in and take over halfway through. Basically, I couldn't make the day that he was taking the brakes off, but I was there when he was putting them back on. So let's roll the intro, get the intro out of the way. Let's see what Graham has to say prior to us refitting the brakes, because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't there. I haven't yet reviewed the footage either, as of making this bit of video. So yeah, let's see what Graham has to say, let's see what he got up to, and then you'll see me jump in towards the end of the video. So let's roll that intro.
Okay, our plan for today is to get the wheels off, get the calipers off, and get them boxed up, get them sent away, ready for getting them refurbished, all freshly powder coated. Unfortunately, Zach couldn't make it to here due to other work issues, so I'm just doing a quick bit of filming just to fill you in. Hopefully Zach will be here when we put it all back on and he can carry on the filming. Okay, so I've just got her up in the air, and for those that wonder what a reasonably well looked after Audi is underneath, see, she's pretty clean. Other than a few little bits and pieces, dirt that need to be washed off before she comes out properly, but we'll get to them. So I've got it jacked up, I'll get the wheels off, and we'll go from there. Okay, something else I'm doing is I'm just labelling up which wheels come off of which position, so rear, right. It's not necessary, but if you want to put the wheels back in the same place and they're going to be off for a while and you're going to stack them, it's easier to write on them than try and remember. Okay, so first caliper on the back is now off. You can see we just undone the banjo bolt that bleeds it. Took the handbrake off, which has this little retaining clip around this bit here, which mounts in this hole here, and then you just have to get this end piece off out of the retaining point just here. So it's a case of you squeeze the caliper a bit so that becomes loose, you then push that in and it goes inside this little bit here into there and drops through, and then your caliper is free to do what you want with. So now I've just got to get the carrier off, which is just a couple of bolts down here, one here and one here, if you can see that. And then that'll get off and I can take the whole disc off and get rid of that. Okay, so wheels off on all four corners now, but I'm just starting at the back here. The calipers aren't too bad, but there's bits like this just starting to come through and corrode, so I want to just get them all sorted out. And the discs are due changing on the rear. I don't think the fronts were due, but I'm going to potentially look at upgrading the upgrade, because these are off of a B5 RS4 and they all bolt on reasonably easy, but I'm looking at potentially running same calipers, but it'll be a bigger disc, so you space the caliper out on the front. I'll explain that a bit later. And for the rears, again, I'm potentially looking at bigger rear discs, same caliper, but they space out the actual carrier and it moves it out, and it's quite a substantial increase in size. It's about 30mm increase in size. So for what I plan to do with it, I don't necessarily need to do this, because it is already upgraded from the standards, but it's potentially worthwhile because of the price of OEM B7 discs anyway. The cost of upgrading them over the standard ones is nearly negligible, so that's why I'm looking into an upgrade. But I'll get the calipers off first and get it refurbished. When they come back, I'll have hopefully made my mind up about discs, and then you'll see the process of just putting them back on is again nice and simple, like most other disc changes. Okay, so both the back ones are off now. Just about to start the front ones. Front ones are a slightly bit different to normal because they are 8-pot calipers, and you can see here on the logo it's a bit faded. The paint's just flaking off a little bit in a couple of places, hence why I want to take them off and get them refurbished. But yeah, with these, to take the pads out, simply push that pin out and they come out up this way. No real amount of tools required, so I'll get them out and then get the caliper off, which is a bolt at the back here, just here, this bolt, and then that whole caliper comes off this way. And then the disc should just come off because it hasn't got any retaining screws, which, if I remember rightly, the B5 doesn't actually have any on them from standard. I can confirm that once we've got the disc off and we can actually look at the hub. Okay, so just to show you how easy it is for removing the retainer, I've given it a little tap, and now it should be a case of just wiggling it with a pair of pliers or something to grip it. Just wiggle it back and forth whilst you're pushing it out the back, and out it comes. Okay, so disc is off, carrier's off, just left with the hub and all of the arm. Now this is potentially a good time to get the wire brush out and give this a clean up, and maybe a bit of a hammerite as protection, or if you're going to go do a full hog, obviously you'd strip this down further, undoing more bolts and send it off for powder coating. But it depends on your budget, and as my budget can't stretch to that right now, it will do at some point, but I'm going to probably give this a bit of a wire brush up in the places that you wouldn't normally get to, put a bit of hammerite on there or some other form of rust protection paint, and yeah, just try and stop it getting any worse than what it is. Not that it's bad anyway, it's not MOT failure, but yeah, if you can keep on top of it now whilst it's alright, it saves you hunting around for parts. So there we go, caliper is off. As you can see, it's left this part of the bracket there, which is no biggie. One there, and your brake line. Now with that, you want to get yourself a brake line spanner so that you are less likely to round off the nut on the end. And the brake line spanner looks a bit like that. So it's got a bit of extra strength to stop the jaws from spreading and slipping off of the nut and rounding it off and causing pure carnage. Not a lot of money to buy, worth every penny. So again, whilst you're in here, if you can, clean up and paint bits if you want to, but being alley, it's not too bad in here. Not bad for a 20-year-old car. And I'll get the other side off, and that'll be it for getting the brakes off. And there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4 calipers off, ready to be sent away. And hopefully Zach will be with us shortly in your time, but in a few days' time, once these have been and come back for a refurb.
Right, so now I'm taking over being cameraman on this this project. I am back in the room. I hope you guys did enjoy what Graham filmed. I haven't, at this point I'm watching this, I haven't actually watched it myself, so it'll be interesting to see, but hopefully you went into enough detail. But here we are, we've got everything back with us. So obviously starting off, what way are we going around? We're going driver's side to passenger side, aren't we?
Yeah, we're just going to do this side first, and then obviously bleed them up afterwards.
Yeah. So there is a nice brand new disc. What disc is this?
This is a Rayland disc. I went with Raylands mainly down to the fact that they do the rear in this same sort of floating design as the fronts, without having to go bigger on the backs. And yeah, that's pretty much the reason why I ended up with these ones.
And they even give you new hardware as well.
Yeah, because these are 380mm, whereas the old ones were 365.
Bloody hell.
So they're a little bit bigger on the front, hence the bracket.
Yeah.
Which mounts between the nice shiny new caliper.
Which is sat over there.
And the hub for it.
Yep. So what pads did you go for as well?
I have gone for Hawk. I think they're called HPS on their site, which is basically a road going high performance brake, they reckon.
Yeah.
And when you look at the temperature range that it does, it goes, I can't remember the numbers off my head, but it's very high. And for the way that I drive this, I don't think I'm going to exceed it. So I thought, yeah, we'll give them a try and see how they go.
Yeah.
Some people might want more, some people might not even need as much as them, but yeah.
So what was done to the calipers? Obviously, I'm guessing they got a nice new lick of paint.
They were refurbished by a company called Brake Caliper Refurbs. They're on Facebook. They got their own website as well. So yeah, they stripped it down, checked all the pistons for any pitting, replaced seals, replaced all of the bleed nipples, and dust shields, and then yeah, custom paint job. So they're in shaded areas. They're OEM finish, but if you can get light into them,
Oh yeah, you can see a
you've got a gold flake. Yeah,
that is very subtle but very nice. That.
so it's just that a little bit different from what comes from the factory, but most untrained eyes won't pick up on that.
So are they powder coated or painted?
Oh, I believe they're powder coated, but I can't confirm that for 100%. I can't remember what it said now for the website. It was a little while ago. It took them about a week and a half to do a turnaround on them.
That's not too bad.
So no, and then obviously they've been sitting here a little while whilst we've been waiting on the discs to turn up. So not too bad in all said and done. So just clean up the faces before you put all your bits and pieces on.
Yep.
Now, for all those people that have the little Allen keys in there and they're like adamant it's got to be in there, if you have a look at this hub face, which is a genuine Audi hub face,
Yeah.
you will see there is no thread hole for that little.
Oh, for
clip
the
plate.
little like fastening
Yeah.
clip thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you find your car's missing it, don't panic, because you don't really need it. It's all done on the wheel bolts. It's just there to stop it falling off when you're in the middle of a brake pad change or something of similar.
Caliber, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll get the face cleaned up, and then guessing the next step will be to hold the brake up to it.
Yeah, we'll get the disc on
Yeah.
and put a bolt through it so it don't fall off, and then put the caliper back on, which is a nice simple job on these.
Oh, that's alright then.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Excellent.
Right, so here we are. We're fitting up the first disc, and that already looks bloody huge in there. So yeah, as Graham said, obviously secure it in with a wheel nut or bolt, whatever you've got. Obviously, this being Audi, it's got a bolt. And then this bracket. How is this bracket supposed to sit?
So it sits in between the caliper and the carrier.
Yeah.
So it will sit on there.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. And then some slightly longer bolts have come along with it. So
Yep.
it's still got the same amount of thread biting into the carrier.
So have you had to get new calipers as well, or are these still your old
These
calipers?
are still the old calipers.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, nothing new in the way of that.
I didn't know if it'd make a difference for the increase.
No.
Ah, okay.
I believe they even do a kit that goes up to about 410 millimetres.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. That's kind of how it's going to sit.
That don't look too bad. Right, let's get this chucked on, and then because I don't know how long this video is going to be going on for, so I want to try and keep this bit as sort of short and snappy as possible. But let's try and get this on, and we'll see how it looks when it's done. Right, so here we are. We're putting some rear pads onto the front disc. No, I'm joking. No, this takes 2 pads per side, so 2 on the front, 2 on the back, so four pads all in. That's how high performance this is, I guess. So yeah, obviously this also comes with wear sensors on it as well. So yeah, let's just take a quick look at these. So there you go. If you've got 400mm discs or whatever, and you need some pads, 380s. There we go.
But these calipers are used on C5 RS6, Zoe's RS3, R8s that haven't got ceramics, I believe, run these as well.
Yeah.
So there is a wide use for them.
Yeah. But yeah, so these are obviously, as you can see, they run basically 2 sets of rear pads on the front. So yeah, we'll get all of them put in. Obviously breaking out the copper grease.
Just an old habit.
Yep. And yeah, we'll get that all married up, all put that together and see how it looks. Right, we're binning off the copper grease. We've just found a sachet of actual brake grease that comes with the pads. We didn't realise it was laying in the bottom of the box. But yeah, there it is. Nice red colour. And then also it slides into the caliper as a brake pad should, I guess. So yeah, let's finish getting that all tied up. So there we go. First one is on, all plumbed up, all
shiny.
Yeah, all shiny, all nice, all looking fresh. And literally, that's all you need to do it. Like, that is all the tools to do that.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad going.
One other thing to note is, because with these railings, they are directional.
Yeah.
Which is written just on here. But it's nothing to do with the grooves. It's to do with the veins down the inside.
So if I can get you up in there.
Yeah, about there.
That is
They're
how they should look. It looks like they're going towards the front of the car, if I'm looking correctly.
Yeah, as we're looking down, they're pointing towards the front of the car, sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't have a handy dandy bit of Sharpie on there, there you go. There you go, might get better.
There's also pictures on internet as well, if you're struggling.
Yeah. But yeah, that's that on. That's that all done. So next stop is the rear, yeah?
Yeah, well, we've got these for the front. We'll just get the other front on quickly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right, so over to that side. Probably not going to film much. In fact, I'll probably barely film anything because it's all done on this one. So let's hop over there, and with the click of the fingers, it'll be done pretty much. So let's see what we're working with, and let's see how it will end. So There you go, that's what we're working with, not that you can really see very much.
Hang on, I'll get the torch, look.
There we go. So 3, 2, 1. Boom! Done. That was easy. I mean, well, it wasn't easy because obviously we had to actually do the work, but for you guys that was easy. Now one thing that Graham did point out to me actually is your hex bolts that go on the back of the caliper, don't they?
Yeah, go through the caliper into the carrier.
Yeah.
These are the ones that go through that way.
Yeah, them. It's quite important to torque them to spec, purely because if you don't do them up tight enough, obviously they're probably going to loosen off and fall out. If you do them up too tight, you can risk stretching the bolts, and then when you put heat through the system, you can risk cracking or snapping them completely. Again, might not happen. I don't know what the likelihood of it actually happening is, but it is something to factor in. So if you can, torque it to spec, or at least get it to like a comfortable sort of level. Don't go, don't go hands teeth on it. Just make it moderate, make it sensible, and if you can, torque it to spec. But yeah, that's the front done. There's one, and then if I go over, obviously, to the finger click side, which is now dark, so I put the torch down. There's the other one. So now we're going to go and work on the back, which Graham's just rooting through the box of goodies for now. There you go.
Packaged pretty well.
Yeah, they do a good job, don't they?
Yeah. So I sent them up in a box, little screen wash box that I packaged them out in. I weren't too fussed. I thought it was quite a substantial amount. And then when they came back in that big box, I was like, all right, okay, yeah, pretty impressed.
And I don't know if you can see, sorry to interrupt, don't know if you can see, but they do have inserts as well. So it's actually a box in a box for either set. So very well packaged.
Yes, and obviously got the foam wrapped around them. And
yeah.
then there's these
packing
styrofoam or whatever you want to call it.
Packing peanuts, I think they're called. Yeah, packing peanuts.
Those of you that watch Disney and watch Bolt, this is weakness.
But yeah, so there they are. Let's get them unwrapped. We'll do another finger click for that, and we'll see how they look. And there is the new rear caliper.
Carrier.
Oh, where's the calipers then?
In my hand.
Oh, there. Oh, okay. Well, there's the carrier. Again, the carrier's nothing really sort of exciting. It's just a bit of metal, really. Bit of cast metal with a couple of rubber grommets on, or boots as they're known as. But this is what we came to see. They look a lot better. Oh, look, even new. That's for the handbrake, isn't it? I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's the handbrake mechanism.
Yep.
So, what they do with this is they take it all off, and it all gets shot blasted and coated, unless it's in too bad a condition, and then they replace it. But otherwise, they just shot blast that. Obviously, new dust seals. Still the old piston, I believe, has just been refurbished. And we've got the nice shine on this again.
Yeah. So this is not as exciting as the front ones. Obviously, it don't have the big RS badge on it,
And
but still
single pot calipers.
But still a very nice little addition, and a nice little fix up.
And they match nicely as well.
Yeah, exactly. So let's start assembling these. I think this is only one set of pads for this, isn't it, and not two?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll start assembling these and see how that goes. Right, so here are the new rear discs. Again, they're like half the size of the front ones, which is quite nice.
Yeah, these are 324mm,
Yep.
which, to give you a perspective, Mark IV Golfs, which were around the same time that this was released, were running 288, so that's Golf GTIs, running 288 on the front, and a big brake conversion was 312. So these are bigger than a big brake conversion for a Mark IV Golf on the front.
Bloody hell. But yeah, so same again. These aren't directional, are they, this time?
No, because if you look down through, the veins are just straight.
Yeah.
There's no curve in them or anything.
So instead we're matching them up with the grooves on the face of the disc instead.
That's it, because the grooves on the face of the disc don't matter. They can go that way or
that way.
That way, it doesn't matter.
But it just looks pretty if they're the same.
If they match the front, yeah.
So we're going to head over to the back of the car, assemble all of that, and yeah. Right, so we're just about to get started, and unfortunately the new bolts for the rear caliper have not turned up yet. These are still the original genuine Audi rear caliper bolts, and unfortunately they are now discontinued for this car. So we're getting some nice shiny new ones turn up, but we are going to put the brakes on for now because obviously sort of need to get this out of here for another job that you'll see in the near future. I don't know how much in the near future though, because I don't know when this video is even going live yet. I've got so much like backed up and so much that's taking like priority and stuff like that. I don't know when this is uploading. I mean, to give you a perspective, when Graham filmed the first part, it was like the middle of March. We're now in the middle of April. I reckon this video will probably go live about towards the end of May, maybe. I'm not too sure. I'll have to see how my schedule goes. But there you go. So, so yeah, we're gonna start reassembling the rear carriers and calipers and shit like that, and yeah, get this all bolted up. Right. So I sort of haven't really filmed much of this, to be fair, but the carrier's on, disc is on, as you can tell. The shims and shit are back in the carrier, so it's time to obviously put the rear caliper on. Got the pads ready, which are in the box, and yeah, I think we're about ready to chuck them on. Right, so we're just reworking the handbrake, which is quite a simply complex mechanism.
Yep, so you've just got the handbrake cable, which hooks in on the lever point there, and there's a retaining clip that holds it on.
Which is that little rusty thing there.
Yeah, because again, no longer available. I think that's about it really. Put the two bolts back through, and then put it on, put the brake line back on it.
Cool. So yeah, obviously pads are now in there as well. I didn't film that bit, but yeah, pads are on there. So home stretch for this side. And there we go. So
right, so with the banjo bolt, which is where the brake fluid goes through, always get new washers, never reuse your old ones, and you always have to put one on each side of the plate. So you can see there, we've got the bolt, copper washer, hose, copper washer, caliper.
Cool. And then, so that is that side now done, yeah?
Yeah, this side is now done as well, obviously bar bleeding. So same on the other side.
And then we can get to bleeding, and then maybe I can get some dinner. Right, didn't bother recording the last break because it's very tight down there and very dark, because a light does not want to work. In fact, two lights don't want to work. Yeah. So didn't record that corner, but we are now on the stage where this important yellow cap is off, and we've just put some brake fluid in there. So we're using this like special racing brake fluidy stuff.
Super Blue Racing.
Yeah, that. So a little better than normal stuff. I think it's got like a 20-degree higher boiling point than normal regular car stuff. We was gonna chuck some Willwood stuff in, but we don't have enough of it. So we're using this, but that's just gone in there, and we are using a pressure bleeder. I don't know what one of these is or how it works.
One of them.
Yes, one of them. Don't know. But yeah, we're going to use that. Hopefully that should get this done quite quickly. And since I mentioned food in the last clip, I'm now starving, so it'd be nice to get out of here soon. It's currently like 9:15 at night, and I haven't eaten since lunchtime. So, well, I lie. I had a couple of custard creams. That was it. But that energy's worn off. So, let's get this done, and unfortunately the car's staying up on the air because the new bolts I was on about should be arriving tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Anyway, yeah, let's get this done. Right, so we are completely and utterly winging this, pretty much.
Well,
so,
I've read the instructions.
Yeah, we've done that irrelevant stage. So, is this? I don't even know where I'm going with this. basically you get a cap that screws on.
Yeah.
You get an airline type attachment that goes onto this tube. The brake fluid we're using is blue because, well, it's blue racing, so it's not going to be green or anything, is it? And then literally you hand pump until you've got fluid running through, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And then you just go around to your bleed nipples and bleed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that should be done. So, God knows, I don't know. This is like beyond my expertise. In fact, probably undoing that is beyond my expertise, to be fair, but you know, it is what it is. And just as a top tip, if you are bleeding your brakes, make sure your bleed nipple is done up. Otherwise, you'll end up with that. Right, that is pretty much the system all bled up and sorted now. It's stupidly late. I need to get home and have dinner still. The car's going to stay up in the air for tonight because hopefully the new bolts should be turning up for the calipers tomorrow. So Graham's going to swap them over before dropping it back down. But yeah, no, that's everything done. I'm going to get home and go to bed and eat food. Well, eat food, then go to bed. And yeah. Right, so with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys in the next one.